Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Whalenerds podcast. My name is Slater. I'm here with Caitlin and Eric.
Hello.
Hey, everyone.
This is episode number 15, and we have a guest today.
Yay! Our first special guest ever.
Yes, her name is Kate Cummings. She is the owner and captain of Blue Ocean Whale Watch.
What's up, guys?
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. This is fun.
We're excited to have you.
Yeah, this is cool.
And Kate went on a super awesome trip within the last month or so to Antarctica, and we have her here to tell us all about it. When did you guys leave?
That was the middle of February. So we were there pretty much for the
flying.
whole second half of February and a little bit into March.
And how long were you gone for? It was quite a while, right?
It was over 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah.
I feel like we were all like, oh, we got to get someone from Antarctica. We got to get someone from Antarctica. Like, we kept talking about it in previous episodes, so finally we got someone.
I feel like you're the only person I really knew that was on the boat.
Really?
What?
Well, I mean, I know Ted, and I'm
Jody.
sure we'll have him on here for, like, Happy
Haley.
Whale or something
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah.
Oh, who, Jody Frediani went?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was
Oh, okay. I guess I did know some people. Well, that's exciting. What'd you guys see?
there. Lots
All
of
the
things.
things.
Yeah.
All the things.
Was there any ice?
There was so much ice.
Was it cold?
You know, it really wasn't that cold.
Really?
It ranged from like 28 degrees to 34. And we got extremely lucky with the weather too. I mean, we barely had any rough weather, like hardly any wind. Most days were sunny. But yeah, 28 to 32.
Do you feel like it wasn't
Parts of the
cold because
US
you're
it's
dressed
colder.
for the cold?
Well, yes.
Because when you go to cold places, like say we go to Lake Tahoe, right? You're like dressed for it, and then you're like, oh, it's not that cold here, but it's like it is colder than like Monterey.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're used to California too, I mean, it definitely felt cold.
Yeah.
But, you
Just
layer up.
getting there is quite an adventure too, right? It's not just a straight flight there.
Yeah, getting there definitely sucks. I think we...
Getting to the bottom of the earth.
You made it sound so
But
fun.
the place is so cool that the travel to it is worth it. But yeah, I think it was over 30 hours total being in a plane for a couple days. Yeah.
You flew down to Argentina or Ushuaia?
Yeah, I mean, and there were stops in between. Well, first we stopped in we went to Punta Arenas actually, so in Chile, and then so that was the first time they actually did that, where we flew from Punta Arenas to King George Island, which is the tip of the Antarctic Peninsula. That was the first time we did that. So we skipped one of the Drake Passage crossings, and then so the ship was waiting for us there in Antarctica, and then the passengers that were on the ship got off, and so we basically walked past them, and they got on the plane that we flew in.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's pretty intense.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But yeah, even that first flight was insane because we were in the plane ready to go, and then we had to deplane because there was so much wind where the ship was in King George Island that those passengers couldn't get off.
Oh.
Because there's no dock or anything in King
we had to
George
use the
Island. And
Zodiacs.
so the captain didn't let any of the passengers get in Zodiac. So we had to wait for the wind to die down. So we all hung out in the airport for like 5 hours and then got there.
How many people in total were on the boat?
There were 100 passengers, and I think it was like 40 crew. But that included like, the people that were running the ship.
Oh, okay.
And then it was like this Canadian company that leased the ship, and only a few of them were left. But then it was Cheeseman's Ecology safaris that we went with, and so they basically like piggybacked on this Canadian company.
Okay, so how many people were at the Cheesemans, you know?
I would guess maybe like 15 to 20 or so.
Nice.
Something like that.
Did you know a lot of people on the boat?
I did, yeah, because I recruited a lot of passengers that I know from Blue Ocean Whale Watch, and then got to meet some whale watchers from Washington, like Erin Johns-Glass. Met her. She's awesome.
Erin went on the trip.
Yeah, so it was cool to meet her. But yeah, there's a lot of whale watchers on it.
And how are the accommodations? You literally slept on the boat for pretty much the entire 2 weeks, right?
Yeah. They were good. I mean, you didn't really need to spend that much time in your room, but
That's good.
The ship that we were on, it wasn't catered for like a luxury cruise or anything. It was basically set up like everyone was in a crew cabin.
Okay.
So it was just like a bunk in a small closet, basically.
Yeah.
And a sink.
Yeah. Well, you felt like you were living in a closet.
Yeah.
but a nice one.
A nice closet.
It's nice scenery outside.
Yeah, and we had a good one though because we had a porthole that was maybe like 2 feet,
Oh,
but
cool.
we could open it.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Get a nice
That
breeze.
was nice. Yeah.
that's fun.
Was there? What was the first thing you guys did?
The first thing it was like action packed from the beginning. Ted Cheeseman, who was running the trip, I mean, he really had an awesome itinerary set up. So we would basically wake up like at 6:30. You'd have like a half hour for breakfast, and then it's go back to your rooms, get your gear on, and get in the Zodiacs.
Oh, wow.
And you would either just zip around in Zodiacs looking at things, like looking at icebergs and scenery and looking for whales and seals and stuff, or you would do a landing. In almost every single landing we did, there were penguins.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many different types of penguins did you see there?
We saw 3. So we saw the Adelie penguins, the chin straps, and then it was mostly Gen 2 penguins that we saw.
Nice.
Dang. How many of those have you guys seen?
None.
None in the wild, unfortunately.
Dang.
They're funny.
Lucky.
Penguins are funny.
How are they funny?
They just have, you wouldn't think that, well, I mean, birds are smart, but they just had personalities, and they don't have any reason to fear humans. Well, I mean, they did when, settlers or
Yeah.
explorers first came to Antarctica. They
eating
killed, they ate a bunch of them. But they probably don't remember that, and these are all new ones. And they didn't tell each other what happened. It wasn't passed on. Anyway, they walk right in front of you, and we'll peck at your shoes and stuff. And
That's awesome.
yeah.
How tall? What was the tallest penguin that you saw?
They were probably, what would that be, like
3 feet? 4 feet?
yeah, maybe like 3 feet.
Really?
As tall as
Wow.
that.
That's big.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, they were fun. And we actually did see some chicks. So we were kind of there late in the season. And so most of the chicks, you would have to like look hard for the little fuzzy bits that were still on the down feathers. But then there were some that had some really late in the season. I think they were saying it was like a really small chance that they would survive, but we did see really tiny new chicks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Any other birds flying around?
Yeah, there were a lot of giant petrels that we saw on land. And I can't remember. The snowy sheathbill. It's this, it looks like a little chicken. It's not the most attractive looking bird, but it would always look for a mother penguin feeding its chick. And so it's just dumping regurgitated krill into its mouth, and sometimes the parent would miss and it would fall to the side, and for whatever reason they didn't want to eat what was on the ground.
Wow.
And so these sheathbills come in and eat that.
No
Then
way.
sometimes even like knock out chicks and steal
Wow.
the krill.
I never heard of that bird. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Is there any albatross?
Yeah, we did see some albatross, like black-browed albatross, and we were at Drake Passage. But because it was so calm and not so breezy, there weren't a whole ton.
Yeah.
Is a wandering albatross go there? Is that where it's
Yeah,
at?
I think it's
yeah.
possible, but we didn't see any.
Yeah.
Okay.
The black-browed ones are really cool.
They're
Really
really
striking features.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, guys, I just Googled that sheathbill. It does look like a chicken. She's right. Look at
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty ugly.
It does look
That's
like
funny.
an all-white
it.
chicken.
Yeah, it's like a white chicken. Look at all those chickens.
Look at all those chickens.
Did you see any seals hauling out on like random floating icebergs?
Yes. That, 'cause, I mean, you see pictures of it, but you just
Yeah.
didn't expect really to see them just in the middle of nowhere. 'Cause how crazy it would be just to fall asleep on
An
an
iceberg.
iceberg, and it's floating. I mean, it's moving. It's going with the current. You
It's like,
wake up,
dang it,
you're
I
like,
fell
"Oh."
asleep too long.
Yeah.
I'm like a mile from where I was supposed to get off at.
So funny.
That's cool. What seals did you see?
We saw crab-eater seals. That's what we saw the most of. There were the Waddell seals and then the scary leopard seals.
Scary leopard seals.
Did they look scary?
They do. Their faces, they're intense. They look like lizards.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they look like
Yeah,
a
they look
dinosaur.
like animals or
Yeah.
something weird. Those crab eater seals have really cool teeth.
Oh, yeah.
Did
Yeah.
we talk about that before?
I think we
Maybe.
kind of
Or we were just talking about
one
that
of the first
yesterday.
few
maybe.
episodes, maybe.
How they're like
Yeah,
they're
they're,
interlocking.
they're weird, almost like spirally looking. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely Google that if you guys are at home. Google a crab eater seal's teeth because they're pretty cool looking.
How big are those leopard seals over there? What's the biggest one you saw? Pretty intimidating sizes on those
I'm
animals?
bad with guessing.
Are they like stellar sea lion size?
Definitely not like an adult stellar sea lion.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like a females ever seen. I don't know, like
Bigger than
9
you.
feet or something.
Bigger than you.
Bigger than you.
And
Okay.
they've attacked people. There was one night that we had dinner with the ship's doctor, because it was all like communal, like dinners and stuff.
Yeah.
You just pick a table and then people would sit down and stuff and you talk to them. There's one time we were with the doctor and I kind of regretted asking him, but I was like, "What's the worst injury you've ever seen on a ship?" And he said it was
Leopard seal attack.
Yeah, actually
Wow.
grabbing people's arms in the Zodiac.
Oh
So
my gosh.
go to Antarctica.
Watch
Don't
out for
stick your
that.
arm
Leopard
out.
seal. Whenever there was one in the water, I was just standing in the middle of the Zodiac. I was like, no.
Wow. That's pretty crazy.
None of that.
Oh no.
And Paul Nicklin just gets in the water and swims with them.
I know. It's crazy.
That's crazy. What, any dolphins? Is there any dolphins in Antarctica?
We didn't see dolphins in Antarctica, but we did see, I think you pronounce it peels dolphins, when we were in Chile.
Science. Let me look
Hold
at
on,
this.
we're gonna look at our reference chart here, and that is the Uko Gorder poster that we all love and adore.
They're related to these ones.
You saw them in the strait?
We saw them,
Or in the passage?
What the heck?
there were some also near the Beagle Channel, which was, we started in Argentina and we were coming back.
Kind of like a white.
Almost like a
lag.
lag.
Yeah.
They're like a radius.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Wow,
Are they,
that's so
are they
cool.
still a lag? They're still a lag, right?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh, wow. They're like white sides, huh?
Mhm.
That's
Except
cool.
their face is way darker.
And then what other cetaceans did you see?
Maybe.
Well, we saw a lot of humpback whales, and then we saw 2 different types of killer whales, lots of minke whales, and then we got super lucky in the Drake Passage on the way back. A few of us saw some southern bottlenose whales.
Look,
What?
That's awesome.
Yeah, a very brief glimpse because you can't like stop.
You
Yeah.
just break my neck
Yeah.
looking at all
But-
these random things.
I mean, they're at the bottom right.
Bottom right. There you go.
What?
Higher, higher.
Up
There you
that
go.
one.
You saw this?
Yeah, there
What
was
the
probably
heck?
like 6 or 8 of them, and they surfaced. I mean, the ship is like 300 and something feet.
Yeah.
And then there's just this pod of whales that pops up, like less than like as close as you would get if you were on a whale watch boat,
Yeah.
basically.
Holy moly.
Dang,
Did you see
that's
that
crazy.
neat little rostrum they have? That thing is.
Yeah, and you could see it. I mean, I didn't have.
Do you have photos of them?
No.
Dang.
Yeah,
You're
we
gonna have
just
to send us a
up.
photo for the thumbnail of this podcast, or for the post.
I think
of
we
this
should
podcast.
use the one with your friendly humpback.
Oh,
You and
yeah.
Haley.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, maybe we could use that video
your
if you
your
don't mind.
expressions are priceless.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And for those of us that know you, we can hear that scream like, ah!
That's crazy. And there's like ice in the background.
So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, while they were still in Antarctica or maybe coming home, this photo popped up on Facebook, and it was Kate and her friend Haley, well, our friend Haley, and who else was in the boat with you?
This Australian woman named Meryl, who was one of the guides.
Yeah, and they had this humpback spy hopping next to the boat, and Kate's face is just like, her mouth's open wide. She's so happy, and Haley also just looks like, oh my gosh! Like, it was pretty.
Was it two
it's
humpbacks?
Pretty awesome.
There were 2 humpbacks, yeah.
What were
So
they
one of
doing?
them spy hopped over and over again. I mean, so close. I mean, you could reach out and touch it if you wanted to. One kept spy hopping, and the other one just had its head underneath the stern of the boat and was lifting it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was lifting it.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny that it was hanging out by the back of the boat. In Baja, the gray whales were always at the stern of the boat. Like all the ones
Interesting.
we saw, their head was at the edge of like the right where the props are, like just sitting there.
Maybe they
Obviously
like the
they're
sound,
off, but
weird.
yeah.
Some
Or warm water.
The
Maybe
warm
coming
water
out of
that
the
squirts
engine.
out, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if the humpbacks are doing the same thing, but that's awesome. So you saw humpbacks, minke whales.
And then 2 types of killer whales.
What killer whales did you see?
So we saw type A, and they look a lot like our transient killer whales here, like same size, about the same size eye patch. So it'd be kind of hard to tell them apart. But they have a varied diet, I think, and they're sometimes seen eating minke whales.
Oh, wow.
And they had definitely hunted something. It was really early in the morning. It was actually kind of cool because I got sick. A lot of people got sick from the plane ride. There was a cold going around, so everyone. So,
Not like seasick. You
No,
got
no,
sick.
no.
Yeah, okay.
I don't get seasick.
Now you're going to, since you put it on
No.
record.
You either
But,
get sick or you don't get sick. Like seasick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it could happen later. Happening happening to people. Anyways, so
That'd be like our worst nightmare as like people that love whales. We just randomly like start getting seasick.
over scopolamine every day.
Start flying myself on the drone out there.
You get air sick. No.
But I was up really early because I didn't feel good, and so I went and I got a coffee, and I came back to the room, and I was looking out the window, and I saw a dorsal fin, and it had just gotten light, and so everyone else on the ship is asleep, and whenever it was like a half hour before breakfast, an announcement would come in the room. Everyone had like a PA in there, and so you'd hear Ted's voice, "Good morning."
That's weird.
I kind of wanted to record it before I got home. I'm like, that'll be like my alarm.
we could just have him do it on one of the all-day trips
Yeah.
or something.
So funny.
Ted, do the good morning announcement, please.
But once I saw it, I'd like threw down my coffee cup and I put on my big jacket and I ran up to the bridge where there was one captain in there and the side door was open and I was like, "There's killer whales over there," and he goes, "Maybe, I'm not really sure." And I was like, "No," and you can't be that person. It's like, "No, listen, you can trust me. I'm not, some random person that saw a bird and says it's like a blue whale."
Or like your wake.
Yeah,
90%
yeah,
of the
exactly.
day.
There's dolphins, I
Yeah.
swear. It's like, no, it's our wake.
And,
Except for the other day, there was dolphins. We had passed some Rizzos. And it was like literally flatter than a lake out there, so it was pretty bad that we passed some Rizzos. They're like, "No, they're literally swimming in your wake right now." We're like, "No, they're not. It's just our wake."
Oops.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
So 2 types of killer whales. The first one was the one the A's, right? That looked like
Yeah.
transients.
Oh, and what was really cool about those was that, so we think they had killed something. There was a bunch of birds, really tiny petrels too. We're kind of like dancing on the water there.
Mm-hmm.
But humpbacks came in,
Oh,
just
cool.
like they do here when killer whales have attacked like a seal or a gray whale.
No way.
And they were acting
Uh-huh.
So like
pissed
trumpet
off.
blows and stuff.
Trumpet
Wow.
blows, rolling, like
Cool.
Dude, humpbacks are
driving
like the
towards
saviors
the-
of the sea.
I know. And the
Yes.
second type was what?
the type little bees. So I guess there's 2 different types of type bees.
Uh-huh.
And the ones we saw are usually seen in the Gerlache Strait where we were when we saw them, and there was like 20 or 25 of them.
And what's their diet?
So cool.
I think they eat penguins.
Oh, yummy.
But the other type bee are the ones that spy hop
Uh-huh.
near like ice flows and wash the seals off.
Oh,
so
they're the
not,
ones
not
with the-
those, yeah.
So cool.
So you have to go again then.
Yes,
See,
exactly.
We all
Oh,
have
yeah.
to go.
Yeah, I thought it'd be like a one-time thing, but
Maybe next
like,
year's our year. Like, think about it. We just went to Baja.
Maybe in 20 years.
save up.
I know. It's like buying a small car.
Yeah, it is.
I'm like,
Selling
yeah, because people buy
No,
cars all the
Yeah.
time.
I bought a car cheaper than what they paid
Yeah.
to go to
Selling a kidney enough? Like, I have 2. I'm just kidding.
Oh, jeez.
Sell a kidney.
Well, we went to Baja. We did
Yeah,
that this year.
yeah.
So now maybe next year is our time to go to Antarctica.
Whoa,
Do
whoa. I don't have Somebody's going to have to sponsor us to go to Antarctica by
I'll
next
sell
year.
my
Go
I could
away.
sell my camera and then go, but then it wouldn't happen. I'd borrow someone else's.
Yeah, I really want to see the penguins,
You
icebergs.
can use my GoPro.
Yeah.
Hopefully all those penguins will be there when I get there.
I don't know. Will they?
What do they say
Will
about
they,
penguins?
Kate?
Are they like strong? Are they endangered?
I honestly don't know what I think they were worried about certain types, like taking over the territory. Like, I think they were worried about Adelis, but
There was an issue where there's some penguins that actually are taking advantage of there being less ice, and then there's some who actually can take advantage of there being more ice. So it kind of goes back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing a documentary or something about
Yeah.
them having to walk really far
Yeah.
to get food, and it's like causing, and some of them aren't making it back, and like it's a big ordeal.
Didn't
Yeah.
they just discover a colony of Adelis that they didn't know existed like last year too?
oh really?
Yeah, I think
I didn't know
so.
that. That's cool.
You saw penguins at the Aquarium of the Pacific.
Yeah, we had Magellanic, so it's completely different stuff. Yeah.
I saw African penguins in Maui.
Nice.
At the
They were
Monterey
at
Bay
the
Aquarium.
they were at the resort, the Hyatt. Like I'm walking through
What?
to my room and
Oh,
there's
they really? They had them
penguins.
there?
Yeah, there's penguins, African
wow.
penguins, just like cruising around in there. They have like a little igloo that's like not an igloo, but they go in it. It's kind of cool.
But you were talking about those penguins, how they're in such large colonies. I heard that supposedly even from Google Earth, if you go on the satellite view, if you go
Oh, yeah, I
looking around
think you can
Antarctica,
see 'em.
you can
Yeah.
see patches of, it's not necessarily penguins, but where the penguins were, you can see the brown patches they left from all their droppings and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So some of these
Yeah.
colonies are pretty big.
That's cool.
That's
Yeah.
So did they make it seem like there was a lot more other stuff you could see? Or did you see it all?
No, because they have an itinerary in mind, and sometimes it's like the weather that'll stop them from doing it, but for us, it was almost always ice that was stopping us. Like for instance, there was this one channel, the La Mer channel, that we wanted to get through one of the times. We went through it twice before, but we wanted to go through it again, but so much ice had clogged up the channel that we had to go all the way around it, and so then you tack on time doing that, and yeah, there were some areas we wanted to get to, but the ice.
And they were just like scenic areas?
Yeah.
Wasn't like for animals or anything?
And I think they had like an idea that there were going to be a lot of whales in a certain area, and we couldn't get there. So
humpbacks?
We have no idea.
Yeah. I think I remember Ted talking to me on the phone about there being like an area where there's tons of humpbacks.
Yeah.
And the humpbacks there that's their feeding ground. Did you see any type of feeding activity at all?
We did. I saw, the only feeding I saw, oh no, I take it back. What's weird is they do bubble net feeding there.
Oh, cool.
Which really surprised me because I thought they only did it for fish. I didn't think it was even worth it to do it for krill. But they actually do bubble net feeding for krill.
Interesting.
And they don't come out super vertical when they're lunch feeding. It's all on their side, like when we see them doing it for krill here.
Very interesting.
But I saw that from a distance, and then some other people saw it close up from their Zodiacs.
We've been getting more side lunging the last couple weeks than we have been getting the vertical lunging here.
There's probably some krill around.
Well,
I don't even know. I just think the schools have been so big, they're just like cruising through it. Like I have a video from the drone, and the humpback literally opens his mouth like so slow motion. He's just like,
Me and Slater, we thought we saw a few days ago. Didn't we see like anchovies eating krill, and then the humpback going after both of them?
I've seen that before.
I swear it looked like there was red and anchovy falling outside of the mouth.
I've seen that before.
It totally would have been because they were side lunging the whole time. And I was like,
but this is in front of Moss. You guys haven't seen any krill really in front of Moss.
No.
Yeah, so
Just the anchovies.
you never know.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So,
Okay, so your friendly whales. I want to go back to that.
Okay.
What happened? You guys were just out and they just like started mugging you, or what?
Well, so in this picture, it's just, me and my friend Haley and then the driver, when usually those Zodiacs would have usually at least 10 passengers in them.
Yeah.
And so we had been already on the water for a couple of hours.
Oh wow.
In this spot, and it was so gorgeous that day. I mean, it was sunny, it was glassy, flat, and so we'd been watching whales a little bit before, and a lot of the passengers in our boat were ready to go and wanted to go back to the ship, but there was still a lot of time that we had left before we needed to get back to the ship. And so the driver took them back. They all got off except for me and Haley, and we had just a little bit of time after that, and then we went straight to where Ted Cheeseman was watching whales. He was driving this other Zodiac. And as we were approaching, that whale was going towards their boat, and you could see its spine slithering like a snake as it was going up to their boat. And then did a few passes, and then turned and came straight for us and did a bunch of spy hops, and then rolled around, and then visited the other boat, and then another boat came in and it checked them out. And
did you see the whale's eyeball?
Yes.
It's like eyeball, or it didn't happen?
Yeah. Like under the water and above the water, too. So when it spy hopped, it didn't come far enough out that its eye was above the water. But there was one time where one was coming, horizontal next to the boat, and it twisted. And as it twisted, the water fell off of its head where its eye was. And so it was like, peek, and then the water rushed back over
now
its
you've
head.
like made a connection with that whale.
And did Ted recognize a lot of the whales that you guys saw over there?
I think he was able to match a handful of them.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I think he posted like on your guys' like first or second day there. He made a
He knew
post
someone?
about seeing something like that.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Yeah, he definitely made
And
some
those
matches.
all go. Do all of them go to Australia?
No, they go. There's several different places where they come from, and I think that's why it's so hard to get matches from their breeding grounds.
Yeah.
Some do go to Australia though, right? So that they just go like up both sides. Yeah.
That's
And then
neat.
like the Tonga whales, they could be.
Oh, really?
Antarctica.
Wow.
Some are sighted off the coast of Africa though too, right? From Antarctica. Yeah.
Some long trips there.
And they all had like white on them, huh?
So much white.
Isn't that crazy? They're so pretty.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're just seeing them arch their backs and they don't lift their flukes, like you could see the white stretching up towards their dorsal fins. And that's just how much white there was covering their bellies and like overflowing to the sides.
Yeah. So
yeah, it was neat.
I don't know if we've talked about this before on the podcast, but humpback whales around the world have different. They're all counter shaded, so they're darker on the top and lighter on the underside. But the whales that we see in Central California are really dark. Like even the underside of their peck flippers sometimes is all black, and then their flukes will be all black. Whereas in the southern hemisphere, a lot of the whales are very light on the underside. Like the top and bottom of their peck fins will be white, and all the way up to their chin will be white. Their flukes can be all white. So it's definitely, they look different than the whales we see in California.
And we had that one show up last summer. Do you remember that little cat, that little one that was jumping around everywhere?
Yes.
And it had all white?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a good whale.
Yeah. It was breached. It breached like every day.
Yes.
I honestly feel like it breached every day. Yeah, so, and that one was really white, and we were all like, oh my god, this whale came all the way from
Yeah, it seems like
Australia to hang out with
Southern Hemisphere whale.
So,
Yeah, I think that one, its mom was Angel
Yeah.
Wings
Angel
or
Wing?
Angel
Yeah.
Wing.
Yeah,
Yep.
Angel Wing.
Yeah.
Look it up on Happy Whale.
Yeah, there you go.
That's cool. Did you put any of your things on Happy your flukes?
Oh, yeah.
You did?
Of course.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I have some from Iceland, and I'm like really pumped on that. I have like 2 IDs from. They're not even matched, but they're just on there. So one day someone does,
That's cool.
do that.
That's
I
my
don't even-
Iceland whale.
I think they go to like the Caribbean or something.
Yeah, they probably go to
Interesting.
Dominican Republic.
Yeah, somewhere down that way.
So out of all the trips you've done, Kate, I know you've done a lot. I've even been with you for a few of your whale adventures. Would you say this was the best trip ever for wildlife, or?
It was way up there. Yes, absolutely. I would say it was, I think the scenery beats Baja.
Uh-huh.
But the experience with whales, I think in Baja is unbeatable.
Yeah, that's true.
But it was just a feast for the eyes.
I know. Yeah, the backgrounds of some of these photos were pretty neat.
Yeah.
I've ever said that before.
That's how I am. I'm like, if you could put some ice in the background, then it's like it's the best.
That's
photo
all you
ever.
ever
Yeah.
want. You only want
I
snow-capped
get excited
mountains or
seeing
ice
snow
in the
and
background.
like California. I forget.
Well, even here, for some of us, like me and Slater, like there's sometimes we would go so far up the coast, you end up at Port of Long Beach, and you got cranes and stuff in the background,
Yeah.
Whereas here, you pray that the whales go to PV or Laguna where you get some greenery, but here,
You would
it's all
love
pretty.
it. The
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd freak out.
icebergs, they're like sculptures.
Oh, didn't Tim say something about an iceberg being like? Or you said like 8 miles long or something like
Yeah,
that? And it
it
was
was
like
Wow.
literally detached, right?
Mhm,
Really?
a tabular iceberg. They're like real blocky
Uh-huh.
and flat.
8 miles.
And so it
dang.
looks like land from far away.
But it's
like
moving.
8 miles
Literally could
long.
live on that.
And then
Yeah.
Haley
It's
put
a
up
mini city. Like what?
Yeah.
Haley put up some picture of like supposedly like what, blue ice or something, like something about fresh water being in it.
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna be bad at describing it, so
Uh-huh.
you should look it up, folks at home.
Something about
But
fresh water or
something
something
with like
freezing.
it like compresses,
Yeah.
and so it like squeezes all the oxygen out of it.
Something
so
like that,
it looks
yeah.
more blue.
Oh, I was gonna
Yeah.
say I thought you guys were like gonna hold a cup up to it and drink it or something.
Well, there was a lot. Some people took like if there was a piece of ice that was so compressed, that it looks like an ice sculpture. People were bringing that back and putting it in whatever their cocktails.
Oh, I thought you were saying they're like bringing it home. I'm like, wow, it doesn't melt.
I know.
It's like
What kind of special ice they got down there?
everlasting gobstopper of ice.
It's so cold it doesn't melt ever.
It's
It's actually a rock. It's not ice.
It's like, excuse me, sir, you just brought a rock home from Antarctica.
Yeah, they looked like glass. So it
That's
was
cool.
So now, did you see any other tour groups there, or was it basically people from your ship?
That's what was really neat was that it didn't feel like there was a lot of other
Yeah.
activity.
Uh-huh.
And I think they manage it really well down there, and they must keep in contact with each other because they're really strict about landings. You can only have 100 people,
Okay.
like 100 passengers out on a landing at a time.
Uh-huh.
And so that what was so cool about Cheeseman is that there was only 100 of us, so we didn't have to hang back
Rotate.
on the ship and rotate. And there was only a few other times where we saw other ships.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool to be in a remote place and not see any other humans.
Yeah.
Besides the ones that are with you, obviously.
Yeah, I think the time to go is like now because it sounds like it's gonna get crazier down there.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
it's like a little later in the.
Well, but also like within the next few years, you mean? Because
Yes.
more and more
Yeah.
operators are.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not because
okay.
the season or whatever, but
Oh,
because
okay.
of people jumping on creating more tours.
And there's
down
bigger
there.
ships going now. I think.
Yes.
Like all the National Geographic ships and stuff like that.
Now, when you go on those land-based excursions, like with the penguins, how is it? Are you literally just wandering? Are there guides, or are there like trails to get to the animals?
So our guides are really good. They would go to the landing first and kind of scope it out first.
Oh, cool.
Because if there were fur seals, they didn't want us to be there. I didn't want to be there with fur seals either.
Would they mean?
Yeah. Well, I don't think they're mean. They're just, they don't want to be bothered.
Oh.
And if they don't want to be bothered.
It makes sense not to harass them anyways, but I just was wondering what they like charge you.
There was one landing, actually, that it wasn't just ice that stopped it from doing things. If there were a bunch of fur seals on the beach, then we couldn't land
Really?
there.
Interesting.
So you saw fur seals too?
Yeah, they're fur seals. I forgot about them.
Are they big? Are they big?
No,
or are they like
they're
the
like
ones
our
we see
sea
here?
lion size. Like, yeah, as big as our sea lion.
Are they like the fur seals we see here? Okay, cool.
Yeah, they make real weird sounds.
Like that Waddell seal.
Underwater is where the Waddell seals make the crazy sounds.
Oh, the ones that sound like Star Wars?
Yeah.
Can't they do it above water too?
Not I
The
don't
video
know.
online, maybe they just put, you know what, they cheated.
They dubbed
They
it.
probably
Added
put,
sounds to
yeah.
it.
Because that one that's like viral on Instagram is like, it's one that's laying on a piece of ice and it's like,
Yeah, I think they only
I
can
love
make
that
that
impression,
sound
it's like-
underwater.
Really?
Yeah.
Even minke
so,
whales
too.
make like
You've
Star
been
Wars
tricked.
sounds.
Dang. Well, I guess I'll just,
Go
You
go
like
troll
that?
in the comment
I'm
section
going to
on
go
that
comment on it
post.
and be like, you guys are fake and I'm not your friend.
So the guides would go to the beaches,
Uh-huh.
and then they would take poles with them, and they would kind of stake them in areas where we were allowed to walk.
Really?
And yeah, so you could basically follow a trail.
Uh-huh.
And it'd be kind of funny too because you would have to keep watch where the poles were because you would think you were going on a path.
Like a path,
but it's a
it's not.
penguin path.
Oh!
The penguins they'll walk in
That's
the
awesome.
same areas that it becomes like a little like divot.
Yeah.
And yeah, you think it's like a human walking
That's
trail.
a funny penguin path.
No, this is a penguin path.
So funny. And then they would block off areas like if it was like a steep drop off. They didn't want
And you
to
guys actually
walk
saw
off
like
the cliff.
chicks, right? Like little itty bitty guys.
Yeah, the late season chicks.
That'd be so cool.
What was
to
your like out of the whole trip? What was the most memorable part?
I mean, definitely the friendly.
Yeah, the friendly
The
humpbacks.
friendly humpbacks. But just, I mean, looking back on it and you know, thinking about the icebergs and, I mean, it's just so wild that you can get in a Zodiac and move around all the ice. I
Yeah.
mean, there are times where you're bumping into it
Yeah.
and it's going around the boat and there was one day we woke up and ice had formed where it wasn't the day before. They called it
wow.
like pancake ice, and so you just see it forming on the surface.
Oh wow.
And that was really trippy.
Wow.
That's neat.
Yeah.
What about the minke whales?
They were more interesting down there
Yeah.
than they
Really?
were up here.
Our minke whales in Monterey.
They
are
have like
set.
little white spots on their pec fins.
The
They're a little
mittens.
different than ours, right?
Well, ours have one band of white on the flipper,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it's on both sides of the Antarctic ones or not, or just the one,
Is it the
Flipper.
dwarf minke or
Oh.
the Antarctic?
the Antarctic.
So are ours common?
Yeah.
Oh, so ours look way different though. The Antarctic ones are bigger.
Yeah.
Wow, they're much bigger.
Oh, they don't have the band on them,
Yeah.
right?
Okay, they
Yeah.
don't have
Yeah,
it
that's
then.
The dwarf
okay.
minke does.
I see.
Didn't they have dwarf minkies there?
Not that we saw.
Oh, okay.
But they were kind of friendly. Like they'd cruise over to the boat.
That's cool.
And were they in like numbers?
We would see like it was like the same here, where if
Okay.
they were in a group, it would be like 2 or 3.
Oh, cool.
That's cool.
Someone got an amazing picture. They had a wide angle lens on, and a minke came straight towards the center of the boat and then turned at the last minute. And so you can see its whole head, its eye, and it was kind of tilted, so you could see its white belly. And
Oh,
Very
cool.
cool.
And the water's pretty much crystal clear there, right?
it was surprisingly clear.
Wow.
It's funny because there's tons of like krill and nutrients in it. Obviously, that's why everything's
And
there.
all the whales are covered in diatoms, and those
Yeah.
are obviously floating out in the ocean. So, yeah.
Why do they get those diatoms?
They're, I should have gone to more lectures. I was so paranoid about getting sick again that I didn't want to go to any of the lectures.
Oh,
that
you
were-
didn't want to be
people
in the
around.
group?
Yeah.
I don't want to hang out near any
because-
humans.
Again, look it up at home. I'm sorry, I'm a horrible ambassador for Antarctica. But because it's, salt water and then melting ice, I think something with the fresh water meeting the salt water, I think is good for the diatoms. Instead, they've just got a bunch of diatoms on them, and they show so much more on these humpbacks
On the
because they
light
have so
flukes.
much white pigment.
I wonder if they lose them
Then it
once
looks
they go back
yellow.
up.
They do. So
They do.
the reason why it sticks to the skin so well too is because they don't really move a lot of blood at the surface of their skin when they're in Antarctica because it's super cold, and so like there's just a lot of dead skin and the diatoms build up on their skin, and then when they go to the warmer water they can circulate blood to their skin a lot easier and not lose as much body heat, so then they'll just slough off. So much skin just comes off as they're migrating north.
And that's why they have all the little fish by them.
Yeah. Probably, honestly, just munching away. But that's also like Bob Pittman with like the killer whales. He has a theory that they'll make these like 4-day runs to like subtropic waters just to slough off
Clear
all
that
that
off.
stuff off their skin and then come back just to do a skin maintenance trip.
And I think killer whales do that, right?
Yeah, that's what he's saying
Yeah.
about that's his theory with killer whales at either pole is that they do these skin maintenance, quick migrations, and then come back. So.
I'd be surprised. Yeah, it seems like our cetaceans out there really have a skincare regimen at times.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Like the turtles in their
Yeah.
little,
Their
what do they
cleaning
call it? Like in Maui they
stations.
do that,
Yeah.
the cleaning stations.
Yeah.
Yeah, cleaner ass.
And
then
manta rays I think do it
well,
too.
like beluga whales and killer whales have been seen to rub on
rub rocks.
pebble beaches. And
That's what exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, the rub rocks up.
You know that live stream in Washington? Have you guys ever watched it?
Yeah.
Yes, I had to break it to Caitlin.
not
how it's
actually
not
live.
exactly live at times.
It's like live when they know they're there, but then it always says like, what does it say on the side now? Or like in red letters, it says something like pre-recorded or.
Oh, really?
Oh, does it?
Yeah,
it says
It used to just say live, and we would watch it in the shop last year, and I was
I'm
like, what the heck? This
octopus
isn't
has gone by
live.
5 times.
I know. I could tell Caitlin,
I
like,
watched it for
Caitlin,
4
look,
hours
I know.
straight.
I was like, watch this. It's way too perfect. She's like,
but it's
damn it.
lying. It says it was live with the little red
And then
dot.
I'm like, dang, these things are going by a lot. Like they love this camera. Like
So they would just put it on a loop then?
it's
or-
basically
Yeah.
like it's all their prime times that they've gone by. But it's cool. Like an octopus walks by out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then they go back by. Then a harbor seal goes off.
It's
the
like
way,
too
and then,
perfect.
Like, it's just like what? These things are just passing each other and not talking and hanging out.
How deep is the camera?
I don't know.
Not very
I think it's like
deep.
right in
Not
the shallow
deep.
water there.
Yeah.
Because they
The
go.
rope
You know
walks.
how they are there. They
I
go,
think
like,
sometimes you can see the whales like breathing at the surface from the camera. So
What?
Yeah.
it's not very
It's
deep.
shallow.
We'll have to show you. It's
Yeah,
pretty
that
cool.
sounds cool.
It's just not actually live. I'm bitter.
I'll keep that in mind.
I'm bitter.
My hopes will be crushed.
She got
I mean, if
pretty.
it's
She
blinking
got
red,
quiet
it's
and
not
disappointed when I
live.
told her. Yeah.
All right. So Antarctica, you were
Any
there.
pro tips?
Any pro tips?
Go.
Take emergency.
Take
Before
vitamin
you
C.
Fly a
So-
private plane.
Yeah.
Should wear no surgical mask on board, just in case.
Wear a respirator on the
Oh my
plane.
god. Yeah. Definitely do that. That was probably the hardest part was because I had probably a fever for the first 3 days, but
Oh,
I
wow.
didn't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
And so I forced myself to go out on the Zodiacs.
But then
even
you
if
get
it-
worse.
Then I was so bad because
Yeah.
we stayed on the Zodiac for like 4 hours on this overcast day looking at icebergs, and then I got colder than I've ever been in my life. And you know when it's like in your bones and you can't get rid of it?
Yep.
But yeah, just
Yeah.
bring a lot of layers. Socks. Bring lots of socks.
Like to double up or just because they get.
I was wearing 3 pairs of socks. So like
And my feet get cold
liners.
first too.
Yeah. And I was surprised, like, I thought people were being crazy for bringing, like, toe warmers and hand warmers. I'm like, I'm not going to pack that. That's stupid. And then I ended up borrowing people's toe
See, but like,
warmers,
it's like
especially.
I'm cold and I complain about it every day on the boat that my hands are cold. But like, I can't have that and shoot photos. What am I gonna do? Like, glue hand warmers to the outside of my hand. I don't like using gloves because I feel like I can't control the settings as well. And yeah, you can cut the fingertips, but like, I just don't want gloves on.
I just got used to it because I got ones that you can, touch like
Yeah.
screens with and stuff, and it just kind of felt like wetsuit material that I was
Okay,
wearing.
so
as
they weren't
gloves.
like the like clothy kind. You know what I mean? Or
Right?
like
No,
the
it wasn't like that.
kinds that get wet and they like freeze.
They were really good. I liked my gloves because I had them on pretty much all the time.
And here's a random question that people often ask about, like, especially being on the boat. How was the food?
The food was impressive. They really know how. I mean, it's 2 weeks, and I thought we wouldn't have any fresh vegetables by the end. But they did a really good job. So you'd have like really green leafy things for salad in the beginning, and then towards the end it's like cabbage and shredded carrots and stuff. But they were really good, and it's a lot of food. Like I'm not good with buffets.
Ooh, I am good at buffets.
I'm good at buffets too.
It's like one of the reasons I love Vegas so much.
Yeah, the food was great. I mean, they were good at catering to. I mean, I don't have any dietary restrictions. I'll eat whatever. But there were a lot of people that had specific things. And they were awesome.
That's good.
Dessert after lunch, dessert after dinner.
Ooh.
Was there like a pre-breakfast breakfast?
Yeah, actually, yes.
Dude, there wasn't Baja too. They like put cereal out and bread and all those things, and I'm like full. And they're like, "All right, now what do you guys want for breakfast?" I was like, "What? We just I had like yogurt and a peanut butter sandwich. Or I had like so much food." And then they did a real breakfast. I was like, "Dang it!"
Did Ted's voice come over to the PA? It's announcing that too.
Oh,
it's pre-breakfast breakfast.
No, he would announce that. No, he would. Yes. Yes. Oh man.
Was there like a meeting spot for like an itinerary every day, or? Really?
They would announce like when he woke us up over the intercom. He would kind of say what the plan was, and then at breakfast, if there was something he needed to tell us, then he would announce it when everyone's having breakfast.
That's cool.
And then at dinner, he would say like what the plan is for the next day.
Did they do any speeches on the boat or anything like that?
Lots of lectures.
Oh yeah.
But again, I never went because I was terrified of being in a room with 100 people.
Wow, so you learned nothing but
again.
saw everything.
I know, yeah. When people got
Eric
back
and
from
Caleb
lectures,
would have been in the lectures, and I'm like, cool, tell me about it. I'm on deck.
Yeah, because you would think that the weather would be bad, and that would make you want to go to the lectures.
Yeah.
But we never had bad weather, and so we wanted to be outside the whole time looking.
And you could like walk around outside. I mean, it's a big ship, right?
And I'm pretty sure when those southern bottlenose whales happened, I think there was a lecture going on.
Oh.
Everybody walks out of the lecture. The lady's like, whoa, I didn't finish telling you the best part.
I'd be like, I gotta go. So
Yeah.
There's some rare stuff happening outside. I forget what you're saying.
I never even heard of that. Like, I mean, I feel like we've talked about this before, but that's a crazy whale to see.
Yeah, that was
like,
neat.
That's not on our list, That's crazy.
It's on our list now.
Yeah. I guess. I feel like that's probably like one in a lot of trips.
Yeah, the woman who was on the Zodiac with us with the friendly humpbacks studies beaked whales.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she missed them by like 5 seconds.
No.
I know they were up so quick and then gone.
So are they the same as the rest? They eat squid?
I'm not actually. I've never seen them. I've never read about them.
I know, right?
They're deep divers, beaked whales. They're
squid and mesopelagic fish like the rest of them. I don't know.
That's cool.
That's what I would guess.
That's awesome.
See, look, there's those ones. What if they stay down longer than like the Cuviers?
Never know.
We may never know until we get tags on them.
Which one of there's one of those, in fact, what we only know of because of a stranding.
Definitely more than one. Definitely more than one that we only know of because they've been found dead on.
Is this gonna be like one of those dinosaur things? Like it's actually just a baby one?
You never know.
Well, like that Arnox.
Did you see that TED Talk?
Isn't that on the other side of the Pacific? It's actually, they used to think they were bears, but then they decided they were their own species or something. Yeah.
I know about that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Basically, there was like 12 dinosaurs, right? But there was like small ones, and they were actually just baby versions of the big ones. And they kept renaming them all to like, they were giving them all these names because they wanted to declare that they found, a new species.
Yeah.
But they were really just like juvenile.
So they whittled it down to like there's only seven.
Yeah. There was like 12 major ones, but now there's only like 7.
And then at the end, he just said like, basically, scientists like to name things. Yep. That's why it caused the problem.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good TED Talk.
That was, he's awesome.
Who found that? You?
I did.
Caitlin found it. Yeah, it's a good talk.
Like, you guys have to watch this.
Jack Horner, right? He's like the guy who Jurassic Park. What's his name? Ed O'Neill's. Not Ed O'Neill. That's Al Bundy, right?
You're the Jurassic Park guy.
Dude, I don't know.
The main guy in Jurassic Park is based on him. Yeah.
He has his own like dinosaur museum in British Columbia or something, and so he was like, "Yeah, we were allowed to test the bone densities because they're my skeletons." I was like, right on.
Slicing up, these great fossils. Yeah.
So you came back and you've been whale watching every day since, pretty much.
Yeah, I guess kind of.
Oh well, we had some weather. I guess
off
when
in
you came
between.
back, we were having weather still, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, the first day back, it was still rough out there.
Hey, Caitlin, guess what Kate saw the other day?
Shh.
Southern Residents is so weird.
Shut up.
I'm sorry.
Wow. Hey, Caitlin, guess what? I think all of us on this side of the table saw these Southern
You know
residents.
what? You three also have all seen leatherback sea turtles, so go away.
We saw two
And
different
the
ones
same
in one
day,
day.
too.
Yeah.
Have you not seen a
No.
leatherback? Caitlin, get on the water more.
I know. What the heck? Take
We
me on a
tried to tell
private
her to
turtle
come.
whale watch trip.
We wanted her to
You know,
come with us
I want to
yesterday.
do that again. We did a turtle trip 2
2
years
years
ago
ago.
with
Scott,
Benson.
yeah.
What the heck?
And he's super game to do that again.
Okay.
We
You
did
guys
it
did a
like
turtle trip?
Yeah, like 6:30
What does that even?
in the
How do you even?
morning.
What? You're just out looking for little turtle heads everywhere?
Yeah.
Did you even find any?
No, unfortunately.
And
not
you end up
that
looking
day.
at humpbacks.
Yes.
Okay, so it's like an
think-
all-day whale watch.
I think
but
that's what we should
may see
do.
We'll look for turtles.
And
Yeah.
Scott walks around and talks to you.
Okay.
Scott's fun.
I think we should make an all day where, some time is dedicated to.
Well, you guys can just
Leatherbacks,
claim
that'd be
we're
cool.
looking for turtles, but I'm watching.
Okay,
the-
so if turtles
the
start
meantime.
showing up again, I'm calling you.
Yeah, and so that's what I told Scott. I was like, if we get, a couple sightings, then I'm going to plan one on a morning that looks like it would be, because you really want it to
It has to be glassy.
Yeah.
And
That's how it was that
gray
day I found one.
is
Yeah.
good too.
Yeah, so there's
they stick
so you
out.
can see them better.
Yeah, it was a super overcast, flat, calm day, and I was
Uh-huh.
like, "There's one of these turtles up here."
Yeah, last summer was good. It was.
And it was a leatherback.
Yeah, last summer I was surprised we saw some. I went from seeing none to like 2 a day. It's like, what?
Yeah.
I'm trying not to hit you.
You'll get them.
Remember that one that swam under the boat?
Stop!
You haven't gone.
I
You
think
haven't
it's
been
my
gone.
cell
You only
phone
go one day a
picture.
week. So
I
when you go
know.
back to like 4 or 5 days a week, you'll definitely see one.
I hope so.
Cause they did come for like a couple days in a row.
Because the years where I
Yeah.
was on the ocean, like every day, we had no leatherbacks. I think there was like one turtle sighting in the 2 years that I was on the ocean, like every day possible.
Was
And
that El Nino those few years?
Yeah, it was like 15 and 16. Yeah, we didn't really see any
Was there
turtles.
jellies?
No.
Because of the warm water or what?
There was like cross jellies, but those are not
Those are
what
so
the turtles
dinky,
eat.
yeah.
The last 2 years that we've had them, there's been a trillion
Loads of jellies.
sea nettles and stuff.
Oh wow, Caitlin, look at this photo
Stop
of
showing
this
me these
turtle
photos.
swimming under
Get
our
away
boat.
from me.
Oh, so close.
I got to pet a gray whale, okay?
There you go.
I
Yo.
kissed one.
Oh, yeah.
Turtle?
I've done that too. No, gray whale.
So what's up? Are we gonna have killer whales this season?
Yeah, probably.
I have bad doubts this year.
There were some around yesterday.
Yeah. We so saw them.
They're mad I didn't take them out to them.
Yeah.
I
She
heard.
stopped for these like boring northern right whale dolphins.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Dolphins are the best.
boo-hoo.
Do you see
They're
how
like-
happy Doug was?
100 Pacific white-sided dolphins.
Yeah,
no,
those
they
dolphins were great yesterday.
That was we had a good show with dolphins. I took a good nap on the boat too.
How spoiled you guys are in Monterey Bay. We didn't go to the killer whales, but we saw these other super rare dolphins.
Yeah.
Hey, it was like a day for black and whites. I was really gonna be pumped to see the killer whales because then we would have saw killer whales, Pacific white-sided dolphins, and northern right whale dolphins, and they're all black.
But they were 30 miles away from us almost.
Yeah, well, they were 7 towards the end, but they were continuing. So by the time we got there, they would have been like another 7 and then another 7, and we would have been like in freaking San Francisco.
We would have hit Davidson Seamount or something.
Stephanie said they didn't even do anything.
Yeah,
They were just swimming.
just kicking
were
aquas
just
around
swimming.
and
Yeah, and
common
killing
birds.
Killing- oh yeah, they're
Nice,
killing-
yeah. Fairly
Was it? Who
typical.
was it? It was just Emma or
I think it was just Emma's
someone said 50
pod.
ones too.
Yeah, but I think because there's one sprouter in there that looks like one.
Yeah. I
think it looks like
and so I
bumper.
think they
It
confused
leans or
it
something.
for-
His dorsal leans.
yeah.
Probably.
Was Liner with them?
Yes.
Liner was there?
That's probably
How many
why
is
they
it?
said
Emma
50.
7.
6.
6.
With Liner at 7 because he's always tagging along.
So what? He's not technically part of their pod.
No.
No,
he's
he's
not.
technically. They suspect maybe
Oh,
he's
actually,
a
I'll look
sibling
at
of
Eric's
Emma's.
catalog and then I'll know.
There you go.
Oh, Eric doesn't have a catalog.
Yeah, in case you guys forgot what day Eric posted that on, that was April Fool's Day.
Yeah. April Fools. So only the people who listen to podcast know.
Yeah, this is your insider information.
But those pictures look really well organized, like someone does have a catalog.
Put one together. Eric thinks it'll take 4 years to put one together. It'll take
No.
like
You said it'd
4
take 4 hours. It's not going to take 4 hours.
All I type in on my hard drive is killer whale, and I have all my killer whale photos. I wish I was that organized. That'd be
I
cool.
wish I was that organized too, then it really would only take 4 hours.
You have a catalog on your shirt right now.
Yeah, you're wearing your J-Pop catalog.
catalog. It's updated too because unfortunately Granny's
I was gonna say, can we
Granny's
take a
not on
black
there?
Sharpie to it?
My older shirt has Granny on it.
Just take a black Sharpie and start crossing them out.
That's sad, guys.
Sorry.
Is there that many on there that are gone?
This is the updated one, so this might be accurate. My old gray one actually still has Granny up here.
Oh.
Should make a Vegeta one. It's just.
Stop.
Sorry for my dark humor, everyone.
Okay, Kate.
No.
Let's ask you a couple questions. How long have you been whale watching or like working in?
It's 11 years now.
Where did you start at?
I started at Sanctuary Cruises, which
Oh,
is
okay.
also in
So you
Moss
started.
Landing.
Okay, so you started here. Did you like whales before that?
Yes, like absolutely obsessed with whales. Had dreams about whales all the time.
I dreamed about whales like 2 nights ago.
Oh yeah?
I always dream about
Whale
whales.
dreams are the best.
Yeah.
My wife wakes up and she's like, how'd you sleep or whatever? I was like, I dreamed about like killer whales or something like that. And she's like, I had a bad dream. And I was like, she's like, why are you always dreaming about whales?
My whales are always in lakes. in my dreams. I don't know why.
Freshwater whales.
Yeah. It's
That's awesome.
strange.
You're like in Lake Havasu and there's like a killer whale going by the dam. Or
Houseboats. Cruising by whales.
They make lakes so much better.
One time I had a sea lion that was like, I was swimming with orcas. And the sea lion's like, you're not going back over there. And it's like,
It talked to you?
It's like a man sea lion thing. And like, I jumped in the water. It's like
It's
chasing
like a
after me.
centaur, but
Yeah, it was like, well, the sea lion was just talking like a human. That's all I knew. But basically, it was like, you're not going to get back over those killer whales. And I was like, I have to. And I had the drone up. I was like following them. I knew where they were at. Like,
Oh my
it was
gosh.
a big deal. And then I woke up.
You're gonna lose a lot of listeners telling your dreams.
So after Sanctuary, how'd you end up with? Well, I know the story, but I'm asking anyway. How'd you end up with your own boat? Tell everyone that.
It was. It's a dumb story.
She won the
it's not
lottery. Bought it.
interesting.
No, I'm
Next
kidding.
question.
Well, while I was working with Sanctuary, the owners that had it at the time, not now, wanted to sell it and get rid of it, and I was considering doing that along with Jim, who started working at Sanctuary, or started working on Sanctuary when I was there. And then we decided we didn't want to do that, but we met each other while working on Sanctuary and decided, hey, let's just get a different boat and start a new company, and that's what we
Oh,
did.
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah.
How long have you been owning Blue Ocean?
Since 2011.
Sweet.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's not 8 years now.
I know.
That's cool.
It does not feel like it's been that long.
What a rough life. You just go whale watching every day.
I know. But then things like yesterday happen where there's
Coast Guard.
there's
and stuff.
things involved with every job.
Government agencies.
Yeah,
and
but it's all
paperwork and
Now, what's some of my better memories of like whale watching have been on your boat? What's your best memory on the high spirits?
On high spirits.
Let me guess. The 4 breaching humpbacks?
5.
5.
5. Get it right.
I was thinking about that just the other day.
How many years ago was that?
That was 2015.
Yeah.
That's
Wow,
what,
I
like,
honestly
the
didn't even know
craziest
Monterey
year
was a place on the
ever.
earth in 2015.
What?
Yeah, that's when
No,
you
like
started to get a
2004.
clue.
I think 2015 my first time up here. In 2014, I had like heard about this place that had all these whales. It was like a magical place. I'm not even kidding, dude. Like I knew there was San
Whales are
Francisco,
always
but I didn't know anything between San Francisco and LA.
That's so funny.
And then I went up here and like the first day there was like 15 humpbacks, lunch feeding and preaching everywhere, and then they wanted to leave these humpbacks to go look at common dolphins, and I hated these people.
Well, before, had you been working in Southern
I've been in
California,
Newport, yeah,
right?
since I was 13, yeah.
So that's why he was like, common dolphins, what the heck?
I was looking at my Instagram today, like 2014 below. It's like just common. I'm like, dude, how many common dolphins can I take a picture of? It's like common dolphin going left, common dolphin going right. Yeah.
You got a lot of I don't know. Whales, the humpbacks seem to love the high spirits too. It's all my
You get a
best
lot of friendly whales.
friendly encounter. I have
You
2
do
on
get
there, yeah.
friendlies, yeah. I love the friendlies.
You just had a video that went like, a lot of people shared it recently, right? Or a couple months. When was that?
From one of your friendlies last year.
It was like Spy. I think it was the when what's her
yeah.
name was here. What was her name? She went to Antarctica too.
Haley.
No.
Oh, Marilia.
Maria, yeah. I think she took the video, or someone took the video from her.
Yeah. Oh, actually, and then the BBC guy, what was his name? Tom used some of that footage too in his documentary. Yeah, we had two that were spy hopping next to High Spirits together. And that was really nice.
So, what was your favorite encounter?
There've been so many things. And it's funny too, like what I enjoy has like evolved over time too. I mean, in the beginning I was super obsessed with killer whales, and I still like killer whales, but over time you just fall in love so much with humpback whales.
Yeah.
And to me, they're the most interesting and charismatic to watch. And then also too, becoming a captain, what you enjoy is different as well, because you have the camera down a lot.
Yeah.
And for me, probably like a good joy is something really simple when you've just paced a whale perfectly. You know, when it dives and
Yeah,
you're like,
you're like,
all right, it's going to be down like 8 minutes, and then it pops up right next to you. It feels so good.
You're like, yes, I timed it right.
Or like, I picked the right flock of birds. This is where they're gonna lunge, and that happens. Yeah.
Or just anticipate something that's correct. I mean, I'm wrong so many times, but when you're right, it feels so good. Or you decide to leave something and go look somewhere else, and then find something so cool.
That always happens. Yeah, I'm glad I left those.
Yeah,
Yes.
those are really good feelings.
I think like every all-day trip, or not everyone, but most of the ones I've been on your boat, we're like on our way in and we find killer whales or something. Like, that always happens.
Yeah, we get lucky on those all-day trips. I mean, it's just so cool if you have so much time to spend out there and can not just look at all, you know, the hot spots in the bay, but then also outside. I mean, it's just so amazing, the variety that you can come across.
Yeah.
Never know what you're gonna see here.
Like yesterday, we're in the middle of nowhere, and then that sea lion pops up with the sand dab.
Yeah. And threw it around. I was in the bathroom taking pictures out the window.
It's like 15 miles from Moss Landing in the middle of nowhere.
Speaking of that, I'm in the bathroom and we're looking at humpbacks. They all dove, and I was like prepared for them to come back up. And then one breaches, like just like 3 feet out of the view of the bathroom window.
Oh no.
So you know,
I hear everybody going like, blah, 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 and I'm like, I run up there, I'm like, what? And there's like a big splash still going on.
The people who don't know us, you gotta think about it. Think you're crazy right now. They think you're just sitting in the bathroom, you know.
I am sitting in the bathroom.
But the reason why
I'm sitting in a sink.
Tell them why. Tell them out the window.
Misleading.
I know.
In the sink.
Now they think you're extra crazy that you're sitting in the sink.
So on the High Spirits, the bathroom and even your like life jacket room, they both, the window is like pretty much like 3 feet off the water, and so you're really low, and it's like absolutely most amazing shots you can get from there because of the perspective.
So people, it's a thing on Kate's boat.
it's a
People
thing.
go in the bathroom to take
So they're
photos
just
out
doesn't
of
hang
the
out in the
porthole.
bathroom during
Also,
whale
nobody's allowed
trips.
to use the restroom on that boat because I photograph out of it.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go down and just bang on the door like, Slater, you really need to go, man.
I'll just go in the life jacket room and make it less weird.
And then when you nail a shot from there, it's the best.
Oh my god, like that trip we were coming in on, that we followed an entangled humpback out for like how many miles? We like went 20 miles. We were at the end of the rope,
Close.
right?
Yeah, end of the rope.
Yeah, and then we came back in, and the next thing you know, it's
That was
humpbacks
karma.
feeding, and
Great lighting, close lunges.
that whale was like entangled, but it was weird. It like looked like it was just a piece of rope hanging from like the peck. I don't know.
Yeah, I
It
think
was
they
weird.
thought it was just like snagged on a barnacle or something.
Yeah,
and
like it was
wasn't.
gonna come off.
Mhm.
Because the drone, I mean, I couldn't see it anywhere else from the drone.
Yeah. Anyway, so we followed this whale that was entangled, and then the response team wasn't going to come out, and we had spent so much time. I call it babysitting the whale. That's when you're waiting for the response team to come out, and we had passengers on. It was an all-day trip, and after we left the whales and we're heading back in, it was just about sunset, and then we came across like 20 lunge feeding humpback whales.
Awesome.
It was just
super
like
vertical.
It was like 1, 2, like that's how quickly they were lunge feeding. Like just
Amazing
like back
light.
to back to back.
Yeah, everything was perfect.
And like you know how you're on one side of the whales for a while, and then it goes to sunset, then you switch to the other side, and like they just gave us the most time in the world to shoot them. That's awesome.
Nice.
It was a good day.
All right, well, Antarctica seemed absolutely amazing, and I definitely feel like I want to go there.
Me too.
Yeah.
Should do it.
So hopefully we can save up money one day and go there. Or sell a house or something and go there.
Kidney. Body parts.
Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me. That was
Yeah.
fun.
Thanks
That's
for
awesome.
sharing your Antarctica story with us. We're super stoked.
And how you got started into whale watching.
Yeah. And if you want to go out with Kate, her company's called Blue Ocean Whale Watch. It's in Moss Landing, and you can definitely book through her website, gawk at all her fun social media things.
Don't message her on Instagram because she doesn't even know how to get to her messages yet. Just
hey
kidding.
man, I learned.
She just learned.
I think she just figured that out yesterday. Yeah.
Send her a DM.
Everybody DM Blue Ocean Whale Watch.
I had no idea when people were talking about DMs. I'm like, where are those getting sent?
Oh no!
I did show her how to swipe up, so she's gonna be getting people to book on her swipe
okay.
up.
You're
All
gonna
day
be
whale watch,
fancy
swipe
now.
up. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming. Thank you guys for listening to this podcast. If you don't follow us on social media, we have an Instagram. It's Whalenerds. And yeah, thanks so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
See ya.